So, Fyre Festival.
Oh, Jesus.
If you're not aware, disaster of a music festival / luxury vacation experience that happened a couple years ago. I think the ultimate cause for this explosion of incompetence was like a deep desire in the heart of Billiard McBrogle to become a legitimate business, to be the business person of our dreams. It provides a lot of insight into various things that I have seen be ways that people do business badly. Never all at once in the same situation, but individually I have seen things like this. So here, my friends, is from the perspective of a small business CEO, several ways that Willie Dargle was an idiot in ways that I have seen before, just not given so much time and money to metastasize. This first one is something that people do all the time, and it's not a fraudster thing. You have your idea, and then suddenly your idea becomes 12 different ideas, and you're pitching it based on what you think the version of that the person you're pitching is most interested in. So it's a booking platform and a music festival and a luxury experience vacation package. It's also, apparently at one point, they talked about it being like a year-round creative center in the Bahamas where people could go record music or something. This is a thing that happens where your idea becomes every idea. Once you start doing this, you pitch your idea to someone and they pitch it back to you. This happens and is really a useful tool. They pitch it back to you and you hear what they say, and you can do two things with that. You can either adopt that perspective or you can discard it. The third thing you can do is lie to them and tell them, yes, that is the thing that I'm doing, because obviously it's the thing that they're more interested in, and you are trying to sell them, and so you pitch it back to them in sort of like their way, and that is something you should not do. Now, this can also happen internally, where it's not like someone saying to you, here's what I think your idea actually is. Your mind just starts chasing all of these things. Once you have like really fertile ground that you're excited about, it can grow in lots of different ways and can be very difficult to sort of keep pruned. And I'm not saying never pivot, never shift, never think like absolutely in business these days, especially when you have something new, pivoting is much easier, and that's one of the things that is a competitive advantage of a smaller business. But make sure that you are not just like going after everything that seems interesting in any given moment, because then you are not building something that's stable. You're building something that like is in your head, the sort of like prettiest thing that you can build at any given moment. Thing number two, I hear people say this a lot. I've said this to employees myself. We're in the solutions business. We're not in the problems business. When I say to an employee, we need to be in the solutions business, that's basically like saying like, that is all the business does. You solve problems. And so when you come to me with a problem, I would like you to also come to me with a solution. What I don't mean is there are no problems and don't come to me with problems. And sometimes, like, you come to me with a problem and like, oh, this breaks the business model. And in those situations, if your goal is to run a business, then you either create a new business model or the thing stops existing. Like the business closes down. And if your idea of what being a valuable human being on planet Earth is being a business person, that's an existential identity level threat. That is a threat to not just your business, it's a threat to like, it can be perceived as a threat to your physical body. And that is why so many people are so viscerally afraid of that kind of problem. It is also why going into business, it is really good to understand that there's value to you as a human being outside of you as a business person. Number three, weird micromanagement. Also something I have been prone to in my career as a manager, I apologize to everyone who I've ever done it to. When people are micromanaging you on something that you are pretty sure isn't actually that important, isn't actually having gonna have a measurable impact on the company, but they are being very specific and sort of weird about it, it's because they're scared. And like, managers and bosses are scared all the time. It's a scary job, and it's a job that you can lose in a lot of circumstances. There are other people who are sort of jockeying for that position and for the next position, and so they are trying, like, sometimes people get caught in thought spirals and then they weirdly micromanage, and it's bad management, and I try not to do it. But to everybody who I've ever done it to, I'm sorry. 4, a marketing plan is not a business. Marketing is such an intrinsically important part of a business. Like, does not matter how good your product is if you cannot get people to find out about it. If you don't have a way to tell people about your good product, you cannot sell it. Usually the problem is that you have product without good marketing, because most people who are in business are product people. But you can also have the opposite problem, and it seems like less of a problem because money starts coming in. If you have really great marketing and not a great product, that seems like you're winning. Your business idea is not a good idea unless you have both. You know, it's remarkable to see situations where you have really great marketing and not a great product. I think that those are really interesting examples to examine, because then maybe that leads to opportunities for really great products to figure out better marketing. Number 5, fake it till you make it. This is another thing that I agree with fundamentally, but like, some people think that it means pretend until a miracle happens, I guess. To me, and I do this to my employees, and I think that it's good for the company and for them. I say, do this thing you've never done before, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but like, I'm gonna throw you in the deep end right now, because I've been thrown in the deep end a lot of times in my career, and that is when I've learned the fastest and the most. To me, fake it till you make it means, like, you are sometimes gonna be in a situation where you are less comfortable and you feel less capable, and those are often the situations where you increase in capability the fastest. That's okay. Like, you can't learn to swim if you're not in the water. Apparently, some people think fake it till you make it means you need to fake success until you, like, get an expensive watch and rent a Lamborghini and, like, use your investors' money to get a really fancy office. Like, you're faking success with the thought that, like, if you embody it, it will occur. That's not what I mean. I don't think that's what anybody meant. Go get a Honda Civic. All right, the last thing I'm going to talk about is, if you think that your business is more important than your customers, that is idiotic. It is pure idiocy. It makes no sense. You might say it's like putting the cart before the horse. It's not like putting the cart before the horse. It's like removing the cart from the horse and then galloping off to your destination and then arriving and being like, where's all the stuff? I got here so fast, but like, why didn't all the stuff come with me? You disconnected the cart from the horse. It's back where you left it. For people who are running or might run normal businesses that have between, 1 and 100 employees, your job is your customer and your employees, and also, if you have investors, your investors. I hope you don't have investors. It's a pain in the ass. Business is not the end. It is not the goal. It is not the thing you are trying to achieve. It is the thing you are using to achieve the thing, which is to solve a problem for your customers or make them happy or whatever. It's very interesting to look at this. Like, there's a very clear sort of 2 perspectives that you can have after watching these documentaries. One is it's just fraud. It was fraud from the beginning, fraud the whole time, fraud at the end. That's kind of the direction I lean in personally. The other is, like, they thought they were going to be able to do a music festival. Looking at some of the decisions they made, it seems like they did. It seems like they thought they were going to be able to do a music festival. Like, they spent a lot of money. Like, there was a stage. They built a stage. There were a lot of tents that got put up. They bought a lot of tequila. They could have done nothing. They could have had people arrive and been like, aha, we're going to move to some place where they don't extradite to the US, and like, that's my fraud, and now I have $20 million. And frankly, that would have been a much better idea. And I think this is true of a lot of people who scam and who commit fraud. They think that there is something about what they're doing that's actually legitimate, even if it's illegal. They think that's all part of the game. I think absolutely that status and the chasing of feeling like a valuable person drives a lot of people into business. It is the fuel that a lot of people burn to work late nights and to get work done. And sometimes that is done toward a good end that serves the economy and their customers and their employees and their investors and society at large. But business is not champagne parties. Business is porta potties. Running events is figuring out how many people are going to be in a room. It's badging and security and staffing and just it's hard. It's work, and it is logistics, and it is details. And after you're done, when it goes well, I personally don't get drunk anymore, but I used to. And it does feel really good, and it does feel like a sense of accomplishment, and I do love the things that me and the teams that I have worked with have gotten done over the years. But business should not be about prestige and status. So talk to me about business when your goal is making people happy, solving people's problems, not, fucking luxury penthouse bullshit. And I'm much more proud of what I've done than I am interested in participating in that fucking system.